The exercise files for today's course are located in the video description below. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Welcome to Microsoft Power Apps. You're learning with Mo Jones, IT professional and educator. In this course, we'll learn how to create business solutions by way of creating applications that anyone inside of our organization can access. For Module 1, this is what we'll explore today. We'll take a look at what is Power Apps. Why is it so popular? How does it work? We'll take a look at a fully functional app and navigate the interface. Then we'll take it a step further. We'll go ahead and create an app from an Excel file that we have either in OneDrive and or SharePoint. Then we'll go ahead and create an app from a SharePoint list. So either an existing list or we can create a list and then create an application that will populate that list as well. So head on over to office.com, make sure to sign in, and we'll go ahead and dive right in.
Looking to support our channel and get a great deal? Become a member today to unlock ad-free videos. That's right, your favorite courses without a single ad. Interested in a specific video? Purchase one of our ad-free courses individually. Looking for even more? Gain access to exams, certificates, and exclusive content at LearnitAnytime.com. More information can be found in the video description below.
So for lesson 1, let's talk about, what is Power Apps? Well, Power Apps is many things, but in a nutshell, it's a suite of apps, services, and connectors. Now, these apps, services, and connectors, they're all a part of a friendly development environment where we can basically create applications. It's friendly because it uses common language and you don't have to be well versed in coding to be able to take advantage of the environment. With Power Apps, we can create custom business apps, again, without coding or very little coding experience. And it helps us to build professional solutions. So we'll have a lot of options to work with. We can use pre-built templates. We can use AI. We have several connectors as well. So we have a lot of help in the process of creating an application that will benefit your business. And then finally, overall, it helps us to solve business problems. Now, just a couple of things to note about Power Apps. What can we do? Well, we can connect to our existing data. So more than likely, we already have a lot of data sets that we want to create an application from so that we can manage the data more efficiently while on the go. We can create apps without code. So we'll take a look for our first lesson. We'll go ahead and create an app from an existing Excel file, and Power Apps will take a look at the data and create a 3-screen app for us as well. The major benefit as well is you can use the apps once you've created them. You can use them on any device, a laptop, phone, or even a tablet. As far as prerequisites, just make sure that you are signed in to your organizational Microsoft 365 account. That's really the only prerequisite. As you're going along, when you're creating, if any other tools or services are needed, Power Apps will notify you, and you simply just need to go ahead and authenticate to that service and accept that service as well. So that's what we can do with Power Apps. Now, the first thing we need to do is to make sure that we're signed in to Power Apps. We can either go to office.com and then go ahead and click on the app launcher here. And you can see Power Apps on the list of applications that are available as a part of your subscription. You can also search for Power Apps in here as well. The other option is to simply go to make.powerapps.com, and this will show you your list of apps or bring you to the home page there as well. Well, we're talking about what is Power Apps. I want to go ahead and show you a demo of a fully functioning app here. But before we do that, I'm going to head on over to the actual Excel file. So here's the Excel file. And as you can see, we have several tabs on here, but this is the table of reference. Just a basic table, a few product IDs, 6 products. We have the description, the quantity, and the price. We're also including an image for that particular item as well. We'll talk about how we can incorporate images a little later, but for now, we just need to put the URL of the image in one of the corresponding cells. So this is the table that we want to interact with. Now I'm going to close this file here. I'll close this one as well and head back over to my Power Apps. So if I want to go ahead and play my Power Apps, I can go ahead and click on the preview button here, or I can just press F5. Well, let's see how this looks. So here's the actual app. It's opening in the iPad environment. I'm going to go ahead and click on the browser environment here. But here we go. So here is an app. So I can either edit my Excel file by going to OneDrive and, adding another item or modifying an existing item or even deleting an item. But for here, it's created the app for me. So this is a 3-screen app. Here's the first screen. Notice here we can refresh the list. We can sort the list in alphabetical order. I can also go ahead and create a new item. I can even search for items here. So if I just type smoothie in here, so we can go ahead and filter for that particular smoothie. So this is the kind of the home screen. Once I click on one of my products here, here is the detail screen. So it kind of gives us the picture of the item, the price, the product, and the quantity as well. Now notice on this sheet, we have some more options. So I can go ahead and delete this record if I want to, or I can go ahead and actually edit this item. Now I can go back to that home screen here and I'm good to go. Well, I'll go ahead and add another item. So I'll go ahead and click on the plus icon here to go ahead and create a new item. So here it is. I can go ahead and just put some information in here. I'll put a description. I'll go for a large mango smoothie. And I'll get to that image later. For now, I'll go ahead and put the price in. So I'll put $4.99. And the product ID, I'll go for 107. And I currently have 25 of those in stock. Once I'm done, I can either cancel this entry or I can go ahead and just accept it. I want to go ahead and click on submit this item. And we can see it's loading and it brings us back to the main screen. Here is that actual new item that I just added to the list. So I can see that detail right here. So now what I want to do is I want to go back to my Excel file. So I'll go ahead and refresh this, make sure everything is okay. I'll go ahead and close this app. We've seen all the screens that we need to be able to see. I'll go ahead and click on close here. I'll press OK. I'll go back and open up that Excel file. And let's see if that added that last record for me. And there we go. So here is record 107. Right? We don't have the image in there yet. We'll discuss that a little later. It also includes a Power Apps ID. This is just for the purposes of the application. So make sure not to interact with that field here as well. So that's what Power Apps allows us to do. We can go from a lot of columns in an Excel file, a lot of records. We have a condensed form or application that we can use to manage all the information as well. If I go back here and click on preview the app, again, I can change the view. So if I want to view this on a iPad, that's how it looks. I can rotate it. I can kind of scroll through it here. If I want to look on a modern phone. So it gives us all the different views that we can use to be able to interact with this application. So pretty nice. We have all the tools we need to be able to manage all of the products that are on that table list. So those are just some of the basics and the kind of the broad overview of what we can do with Power Apps. When we come back, we'll go ahead and upload a new Excel file and we'll take a look at how we can create a 3-screen app with no coding. now that we've seen what Power Apps can do, let's get ready to create an app from an Excel file. So in order to do that, I need two things. I need the Excel file, and I need to make sure that I'm on the Power Apps page. So here's my OneDrive, and here is my actual Excel file. So I'll go ahead and open that up here. Now, just for the purposes of this demonstration, this is a small file, right? We only have 6 records in here, but think bigger picture. What if we had 500 rows of data? And what if we had 15 columns? So why am I creating an app? Well, I don't necessarily feel like sitting down on my computer, logging into OneDrive, opening up the Excel file, scrolling through endless rows of data and endless columns of data as well. So if I can have a solution where I can see all of the fields for my records on one page or on one screen, and have buttons that I can click on to manage that particular record, then that's a more efficient way of managing this data file. So we'll see that the app will provide us with a form, and it also kind of provides us with a nice landing screen that shows all of our products as well. So I'll go ahead and close the Excel file here. I'll head on over to Power Apps. And before we start creating, just a quick rundown. So here is the Home tab. And from here, different ways that we can create an app. We can start with the existing data, different things that we can do here. Here's some of the new Copilot features. So we can use Copilot to kind of get some ideas. Down here, we can also see our apps as well. Other things to mention, anything's setting related. Here's the settings icon up here. We can get some help by clicking on the question mark there as well. And then on the left, basically, we can go ahead and create. We get some learning tutorials, just some quick tutorials there. We can also take a look at all of our current apps. So if I click on these, this will open up the list of apps that I've created so far. I'll go ahead and scroll down here. Right. So just some different options that are in here as well. Okay, so what I want to do, I do want to create an app, and this is really cool. I'm going to go ahead and go through the process of creating a new app based on my Excel file. So I simply need to click on Create here. And as you can see, I can start from, I do want to start from an Excel file. So I'll go ahead and click here to get started from there. I can also create a blank app. We can connect to a SharePoint list. We'll cover these. We'll actually cover all of these today. But for now, I'll go ahead and click on Excel. It's going to create a 3-screen app for me. So I'll click here. Now, the first time you're using Power Apps, you may need to authenticate to some different services, such as OneDrive or SharePoint. So at this point, it may ask you to connect. So as you can see, I can create a new connection here. If I wanted to connect to SharePoint, to create a SharePoint list, I can do this as well. I've already authenticated. I'm already connected to my OneDrive for Business. So here is the folder structure for my OneDrive. Right? So I do have it in the App Files folder. And here is my Cafe Shop products. You can also search if you want to. I'll go ahead and click here. So it's looking for a table. So very important when you're creating a Power App, make sure that your data in Excel is converted to a table. Right? If you have a list, it will not work. So make sure that you have a table. That is exactly what it's looking for. Here's that table. I called it Products Table. I'll go ahead and click here, and I'll go ahead and press Connect. And it's getting things ready. Once it's done, it's going to provide me with a 3-screen app. So here we go. We have just a little kind of introductory message here. If you don't want to see this message again, you can go ahead and turn that off. I'll go ahead and skip that. So welcome to our app. Well, there's a lot of things in here. Let's just go ahead and play it. So to play the app, I just need to click on the play button right here, and that will play it for me. So let's go ahead and play it and take a look. So here is our actual app. So this is an app, right? Right now we're taking a look at the browser, but that's pretty cool because all we did was we connected an Excel file. Power Apps created the application for us, and it's nice, it's orderly. We can make some cosmetic changes. We can change a lot of these things here, but this works well right out of the box. We have everything that we need to be able to do. We can do it here. So here's the first screen. We can see all of our products. If we had more, we can scroll through to see them. If I click on an actual product, it brings me to the details for that particular product. Now, here's some other cosmetic changes. We can center align some of these different fields here and labels as well. So we can see the details of the particular product. If I want to edit the details, I can do that. Right. So here are the different placeholders. I can change the name. If I wanted to update the price, I can go ahead and do that here. I'll go ahead and update the price. I'll make this $3.99 instead. And let's change that quantity to 15. And I'll go ahead and save that. So it goes back to the details. I can go back to the home screen just by clicking here to go back to the list. So we have everything that we need to be able to do. We can see all of our products. We can search for products. We can refresh. So we can refresh it. So if any changes are made to the Excel file, they will pull in right away. So it's bi-directional. If I make any changes to the Excel file, they will show up here. If I make any changes to the app, they will show up on the Excel file as well. So I can search, I can refresh, I can sort, I can even go ahead and create a new item as well. If you want to change the view, here's some different view options. What will it look like on a tablet? Remember, this is an app, so more than likely it's going to be used on either a phone or a tablet. So this is what the experience will look like on an actual phone. Apps always look much better on a phone than it does in the actual browser. Here's a tablet. And you can actually rotate it here as well. Right. So I'll go back to the portrait orientation here as well. So pretty nice. So we can grab any Excel file that we have that we're kind of hacking away at every day and entering data. As long as it's converted to a table, we can go ahead and just connect it to Power Apps and have a nice 3-screen app. Once we have it on here, all these fields are interactive. So if I want to change the text that appears at the top here, I can go ahead and change that. I can go ahead and change the layout. So if I wanted to just focus on the title and subtitle, I can do that. I can choose the fields that I want to be displayed here as well. So everything is customizable. But again, the main idea is we did not need to enter any code, as we see here. Power Apps created the app for us, generated all the code, and we're good to go. This works well right out of the box. We'll take a look at a little later on how we can customize a 3-screen app. So just a recap from creating an app from an Excel file. We need to first save our Excel file to OneDrive, and then make sure that our data is in table form. We need to connect to the Excel table by using the Create wizard, and we get a really nice 3-screen app. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and wrap up here. I'll go ahead and save this. Right. So I'll just go ahead and save this. I'll go ahead and click on the save icon and here on the top right. And it's just going to ask me to provide a name for this. Right. So I'll call this one Products V1. I might make some changes to it. So for now, I'll just call this, Cafe Products. V1. I'll go ahead and press save. Now, when this app was created, it kind of just created it with all the default settings, such as the orientation, right? So this is portrait, not landscape. So when we actually create an app from scratch a little later, we'll get the full walkthrough in terms of what is the default device that we want to showcase this app in. Is it in the browser or a tablet or a phone? So we'll be able to kind of set these things up here as well. I could change the layout if I want to as well to landscape. The only problem with that is it kind of moves things around when you do that. So we don't necessarily want to do that now. We want to make sure that we make that decision before we create our app. So I'm good to go. I'm going to go ahead and go back to my Power Apps here. So I'll leave the app and I'll go ahead and take a look at my apps. So here's my actual app, Cafe Products V1. So from here, what I can do is I can either go ahead and edit the app or I can go ahead and play it right from here. So I'll go ahead and take care of that. So here's the play mode. So this is what the experience would look like once you actually share the app and your recipients are using the app. They'll get this kind of web interface here as well, unless they're using it on an actual device. So we did see what the experience looks like with on either a tablet and or a phone. Now to share it, I can simply click on the share icon here. And just like with any other Microsoft product on SharePoint, we can either generate an email link, or we can copy a link, or we can add this to Teams as well. We'll discuss how we can share this app a little later on, but that wraps up our creating an app from Excel file tutorial. For the third part of our lesson, let's go ahead and create an app from a SharePoint list. It's also a three-step process. We need to create a list on SharePoint or use an existing list. We need to connect our SharePoint list to our Power App Creator. And then we can go ahead and create a 3-screen app. What is Microsoft List or SharePoint List? Let's take a little detour to see what it's all about. To get to SharePoint Lists from my landing page or OneDrive or any Microsoft-based application here, I'll click on the app launcher and I'll head on over to Lists. Lists are pretty cool. They're an alternate to Excel. We have a lot of dynamic columns that we can use. Let's take a look at an existing list. So I have one here, a simple list for tracking devices. So if you're an asset manager, you may want to go ahead and create a small app as a self-service so everyone can use the actual list here and check out their own devices. So as we can see, we have some columns in here. So if I were to go ahead and add a new item, it gives me a form view that I can work with. I can go ahead and put in a tag number in here, and I can go ahead and enter an employee's name. Let's say I'll go for, so we have the employee column, and this is a lookup column that we can use. We can create drop downs in here, such as this is the admin department. Here's the device description. I don't know, we'll just say Mojo Phone 2024. It was checked out today, or I can go ahead and change the date. I have a nice date picker here. Maybe I checked this out a little earlier. And even if I want to, I can go ahead and add an image and add an attachment as well. I'll just complete this record here. So I'll go ahead and head on over to, I'll go ahead and grab I don't have a phone, I'll go for this. And I'll press save. And once that's done, here's that actual record. I know it's not a phone. This is a computer, but that's okay. Right? So just like that. So the whole idea is you share the list and anyone with the link can come in here and they can go ahead and check out an item, which is pretty cool. The main benefit of lists is that we have dynamic columns that we can use. Choice columns, date and time, person column, yes, no, location, images. So we have a lot of placeholders here. We can even take a look at other columns, such as a calculated column. I'll go ahead and exit this. We also have the capability to edit this in grid view. So if you wanted to add another record, have more of the Excel table style here that you can use as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at another. So I'll go ahead and leave this one here. Now, what I can also do is I can go ahead and create a new list. And there's a lot of templates that are available. So I can either start from a blank list, from an existing list, from an Excel file, or from a CSV file as well. Now, your organization may have some templates in here that you can choose from, but there's a lot of lists in here that work really well right out of the box. Here's an asset management. So if you're an asset manager, you may want to go ahead and use a list. We have employee onboarding, which is a pretty popular one. So these all just have the columns already kind of preset for you, and you simply just need to go ahead and either rename the columns, move them around, and enter your data. So more than likely you already have your data, so you can go ahead and add it there. I'll click on the employee onboarding. Let's see what that's all about. So we get a really nice summary on the right side in terms of what the list is about. We get some features. If we like it, we can simply use the template, and that will give us a list that's up and running. Look at these different columns here that we have. We have the description, completed by, so we can see that's a drop-down column. We have a simple yes or no for the completion, the date of the completion, the mentor, any relevant links, and any relevant files. So this is pretty cool. So lots of opportunities for us to build something really nice. Now, I could go ahead and create a new list, and I can add the columns manually, and I can choose which columns I want to be able to use. But let's keep it simple. We want to work with data that we already have. So I'll go ahead and choose the option here to upload an Excel file to a list. So I'll click on New List from Excel, and I'll go ahead and upload my file here. Let's see. Go ahead and navigate and upload a file. I'll click on Upload File. I want to go ahead and search my computer here. And so here's the Excel file, just a team payroll. Now, let me pull up that file first so we can go ahead and take a look at it. So here's the file. So we have 94 records in here. It is already converted to a table. And so we have number, first name, last name, employee, division, department, all the way to the right here. So I simply want to upload this to a list so I can have some more, dynamic columns to work with. So I'll go ahead and do that now. Go ahead and close this file. I'll go ahead and upload this team payroll. And let's see what options we are provided with here. So you can see it's already located that table. It's already pulling in the headers from that particular file. So from this point, I just need to go ahead and check the actual data type in here to make sure it's okay. So let's see. This is an actual number. So I'll change that to a number. That's perfectly fine. Single line of text. Date of hire, this is a date field, so I'll put date and time here. And the gross pay is going to be currency. So we can make some minor adjustments to our data here. I'll just scroll through, make sure everything is okay. Looks good. I'll go ahead and press next. So I just need to go ahead and give it a name and what it's about. So this will be weekly payroll. You can choose a color if you want to for your app. I'll go for this green here. You can also go ahead and choose one of these icons. Now, when you're saving the list, you have an option. You can save it to another SharePoint site, or you can share it to another team. But here we just want to get this ready so that we can create an app from it. I'll go ahead and click on Create. So it's creating my list, and let's see what the output looks like. So here's the output. I can see all of my columns here. I have the title, I have the number, the last name, and now I can move these columns around if I want to. So if I want to move the title over here, I can do that. Right? So pretty cool. We can't do that in Excel. So I can do that. I can reorder things, but I'm good to go. What I would like to do right now is, let's see. Let's click on the column settings here, and I'm going to rename this column, and I'll just call this first name. Go ahead and call. Just save that. There we go. So number, first name, last name, employee number. Now what I can do, if I wanted to convert, for example, this column here into a lookup column so that we can just click on the drop down and choose from the different divisions, I can do that. I can do the same thing with the department here. I can also convert that into a drop down. But for now, everything looks good. So that is how Microsoft List works, and that's how we upload an Excel file into a Microsoft List. Let's move on here. Let's go ahead and connect our existing SharePoint list, and let's go ahead and create a 3-screen app. Now, for the purposes of this lesson, we're going to go ahead and use my existing device tracking list here. So just a quick overview, the device tracking, we basically have the tag number of the device. We have the person column. So this is the person column here. And this basically allows us to pull in the name from the global address list. We have a drop down here for this one, for the department. So we have several departments that we can choose from. We have devices that we can use as well. So we can go ahead and type that in manually. So this is our basic text field. And then we have the date field in here, or the date column for checked out. I'll go ahead and just add one more column. This will be for checked in because maybe they can check it back in here. So I'll use a date and time. I'll go ahead and press next. And I'll just say checked in. And we'll include the time. We want to use the friendly format as well. The default value is going to be today's date. I'll go ahead and press save. And I'll just go ahead and let's see. For the description, I'll move the photo column over. Right. So there we go. Right. So we are good to go. Let me just go ahead and populate the information here. Actually, this is good. Nothing has been populated yet. And we are good to go. So I'll head back on over to Power Apps. Now, right from that home screen here, here's my Create. So I'll click on Create. This time I want from a SharePoint list. So I'll click here. And let's see if it gives me the option to connect to my SharePoint. Okay, so I'll go ahead and create a new connection. I don't know why it's asking me for, I'm going to look for SharePoint here. Here's SharePoint. I'll go ahead and connect. I'll go ahead and click on Create. And I'll finish up the authentication process here. Allow access. Okay. So now that I've connected, I'm going to go back and go through the process again because it looks like, let's see, so here's SharePoint. And it is on SharePoint site. So I'll go ahead and click here. And I think I'll grab that link. So I'll go back to device tracking. I'll copy the URL in here. Since it's not giving me the capability to search for it here. Yeah, it's not showing up down here. That's fine. I'll go ahead and paste it in here. And let's see if I press go. So here's my device tracking. So I'll go ahead and click here, and I'll go ahead and connect. So we just need to go ahead and grab the link and then populate it in here. It may have showed up on that list. Maybe I did not see it. Just in case it does not, you can just grab the link and paste it in there as well. Let's see what my 3-screen app looks like. Okay, so as expected, here's the 3-screen app. So there are my 2 records. I'm going to go ahead and save this. And I'll call this, let's see, device self-service. I'll go ahead and press save. So we're good to go. I'm going to go back to my list of Power Apps here. So I'll go back, I'll leave this. And I want to run this in the app environment. So I'll go back to the apps. Here it is. I'll go ahead and play it. So I want to see what it looks like from the recipient view here. Again, just need to authenticate a few times. So here's the app. So I've already created the Microsoft list, and now they can either go to the list to update the information, or once I share the app, they can use the app on their phone or computer or tablet. I'm going to go ahead and add another device here. So I'll create a new item. And let's see, for this one, I'll go ahead and put in, let's see, I'll put in the employee in here. Let's see if I can type an employee in here. There we go. So there's Grady. And let's see if I can add another. Right. So we do have the lookup here. I can choose the drop down for the department. This is the executive team. Here's the device description. I'll just go for a slim laptop. I do need to change this. It says title. That should be tag number. I'll go ahead and put a number in here. I'm good to go. Now on the bottom, I have a placeholder for a picture. So I'll click here. And now I can go ahead and insert one of the pictures. So I'll just go up one level. And this is a laptop. I'll go for this laptop slim here. And I'm good to go. I can scroll through. And go ahead and, where's my checkout? Here it is. Checkout, I'll go for today. Press OK. And I'm good to go. Right. I'll go ahead and scroll down, and I'll go ahead and submit this item. Right. And there we go. So we can see that item is showing up here. Now, Grady, I'll go ahead and see if I can edit this one, because this was supposed to be a phone, not a tablet. So I'll click on edit here, and I'll change the photo to a phone. Good to go. I'll go ahead and click here. All right, so very good. So we updated one file and we added another record as well. I'm going to go ahead and close this. Let's go back to the device tracking list and let's see if those changes were updated. I'll go ahead and refresh. And there you go. So we're able to edit the phone for Grady, and we're able to add a new record in here as well. So that is how we can create a 3-screen app from an existing SharePoint list. So just to recap here for Module 1, we looked at the basics here. We're able to view an existing app. We're able to create an app from Excel data. we're able to create a SharePoint list, and we're able to create an app from a SharePoint list as well. So up to this point, we have not done any customizations. The app has done all the work for us. We've simply uploaded data, connected data to it, and we're presented with a 3-screen app. Let's build upon our learning. Let's take a look at what we'll explore today for Module 2. So for Module 2, we're going to customize an existing app. It's a great way to kind of see how the app works and get familiar with the environment and the interface. We'll create a blank app. So we'll put it all together. We'll create a blank app, a blank canvas. We'll add our forms, our galleries. We'll customize it, and then we'll connect our data set. And once we're all done, we'll go ahead and share the app. And by the end of Module 2, we would have all the essentials that we need to create an efficient app as a business solution. For Lesson 4, let's go ahead and customize an existing app. So we'll use one of the 3-screen apps that were automatically generated. We'll go ahead and add a home screen. We'll add a help screen as well. We'll make some simple changes to the gallery style, and then we'll change the order of the fields until we get the app to look the way that we want it to look. So make sure to click on the Apps section of your Power Apps home here. And let's go ahead and open up the device self-service. I'll go ahead and open that up in edit mode. Okay, so here's my device self-service. I'm going to go ahead and hover over it. Now, once I hover over it, I can go ahead and go into edit mode. So let's dive into the canvas and let's see what we have to work with here. I'll go ahead and close the device tracking list. So a couple of things to note. So here's our actual canvas. Over here on the left, we have the tree view. So we can take a look at our screens and we can see the components that are on each particular screen. Up here, we have our formula bar. This is where we can use code. Once we become more comfortable with how the code works, we can enter code in here to customize our app. And then over here on the far left, we have the different elements. So here's the tree view. We can go ahead and take a look at the data. So if I click on the data icon here, so this is how we can change the data that's connected. And we have some other options in here that are kind of beyond this course here as well. I'll go back to the tree view, and from the tree view, I can view my screens. So right now, here's the tree view. So here is the browse screen. Here's the details screen, and here is the edit screen. So these are the 3 screens that were generated when we connected that either that Excel file or that list into Power Apps. Now, right now we're on screen 1. So if I wanted to go to the details screen, if I click here, here's the details screen. So notice each screen has their own particular layout and their own different buttons on here as well. Here is the edit screen. So we can see the edit screen has quite a bit of detail in here. Interactive text boxes that we can enter information. I'll go back to the browse screen. Now in the browse screen, we have what's called the gallery. And the gallery has a couple of objects like rectangles, search icon, text search box. So if I click on the browse gallery, notice how it highlights the gallery for me. Right. Well, if I click on these different objects here, we can see how it's highlighting. So this little rectangle here, this little accent rectangle, here's the search icon. Here's the search box. We can make this bigger. I can kind of zoom in so I can see it a little bigger here. Make it as big as you want to. So here's the icon. So these are all pretty much shapes that we can insert from the gallery here, right? So rectangle, date picker buttons. We have a lot of things in here that we can insert. So all this was done for us. So here's the refresh icon. So pretty much the app consists of inserting these icons or shapes and programming them. So for example, that refresh icon here, it was inserted, and we can see that there's a piece of code attached to it. It's simply using the refresh function here to refresh that data set. So let's go ahead and create another screen. Right? So I'll go back to the browse screen, and let's just go ahead and click on the new screen drop down here. Right? So I'll click on new screen, and well, what type of screen do I want to create? Well, I have a couple of built-in ones in here that I can use. Some of these are pre-programmed. We'll take a look at the email in just a little bit, but for now, let's just go ahead and insert a blank screen. So here is my screen. It's called screen 1. I'm going to go ahead and rename it. I'll just call this home. Right. Now, I do want to move this up so that this is the first screen that you're provided with. So I'll go ahead and move that up to the top here. So at first, you'll see my home screen. So here's the home screen. For now, let's just go ahead and insert a few buttons. Right? So I'll click on the Insert tab here, and I'll look for a button. So I'll go ahead and this button here. And I can go ahead and add that button to this screen. Once I add the button, I just need to go ahead and program it. Now I just need to resize this a little bit because can't see my button. So here's my button. So we'll keep it simple. I'm just going to go ahead and resize this. We'll just have a few buttons on this page. Right. And I can go ahead and duplicate this. I don't feel like creating another one. So I can right click on it and I can copy. And I can go ahead and paste that as well. So there we go. So there are my two buttons. I can use the align guys to kind of line things up. Right. So I want just a couple of buttons here. Right. So here's the button. This one will take me to my browse screen. So I'll go ahead and double click on this to edit the text. And I'll just say browse. Okay. The second button here is going to take us to a help screen. So I'll just double click and I'll type help. Right. I can also interact with the pane over here. So if I wanted to change the name, I can type it in here as well. Over here is where I can do things like change the font, change the color, so forth and so on. But for this one, we just want to go ahead and create a simple home screen. And to finish up, we'll just go ahead and link our browse button here to our actual browse screen. So let's go ahead and create this navigation. So let's take a look at the properties for this button. So right now, here is the on select. So what I want to do right now, it says false in here. Well, I want to be able to navigate to the browse screen. So I'll go ahead and type navigate in here. So I'll get rid of that false. And notice when I type navigate here, I have a couple of different options that I can use. Well, I want to go ahead and navigate to the actual browse screen. So I'll enter my parentheses, and here's the browse screen. So I can go ahead and double click on there to activate it and close my parentheses. So simply, the on select property for this button is we want to go ahead and navigate to the browse screen 1, which is right here. Now, if I change the name of that, I could have changed this here as well. And that's it. Right? So we created a home screen. We added two buttons. The first button is going to navigate to our browse screen. Let's go ahead and give this a quick test. I'll go ahead and click on preview. And now as I hover over these buttons, this is not programmed yet, but if I click on browse, this brings me to the actual browse screen. So that's our first page that we've inserted. That's our first button and our first programmable button here as well. The next logical thing to do is to provide a button that brings us back to that home screen. But for now, that's good for this tutorial. Okay, let's go ahead and add another screen. So this one will be for our help screen, because remember, on our home screen, we have a browse button and a help button. Our help button is going to navigate to a pre-programmed page that has a form that we can send via email. So let's go ahead and insert a new screen. So I'll click on new screen here. Let's see if I can insert a screen from the insert dropdown. Nope, not yet. So I'll click on new screen here, and I want the email. So here is the email. So I'll go ahead and insert that one. And it's already pre-programmed. So it's adding the screen for me. Here's my screen. Once again, I need to just resize it. Keeps coming up so big here. So we have a nice little detail here, and we have a send button. So this is already pre-programmed for us. So if I click on that send button here, we can see it has a lot of code that's in here. We'll learn about these in just a little bit. So here's just a basic label. This is a rectangle. So basically, this is a label and an icon overlaid in a little rectangle that has a blue fill color. All right, well, this is already good to go. So it's already pre-programmed. So when we navigate to this page, we can go ahead and search for an email, or we can put a default email address in here if we want to. And you can just basically add your subject, send your message, and that will be received by the intended recipient. Let's go back to the home. And now we just need to go ahead and program the help button to navigate to that help screen. Well, let's rename that screen. Let's see, what did we call that? Okay, so this is screen 2. So let's just rename that. And we can also move this up as well. So I'll click here, I'll go ahead and rename it. And let's go ahead and call this help screen. Now, when you're naming these screens and different objects, you want to make sure you keep it simple. Try not to use spaces in there, because when we start entering the code to refer to those objects, we want to make sure that it's pretty simple and easy to recognize. Okay, so this is the help screen now. It's now known as the help screen. So I'll go back to my home here, and I'll click on that button, this help button. Now, what we would like to do actually is to rename these buttons so that they make more sense, right? Right now, button 1 doesn't really help us, or button 1_1 doesn't help us either. So we can actually rename these, and that will make a little more sense. But we'll keep it simple for now. For the help, again, for the onSelect property, I want to navigate. So I'll delete the code in here, and I'll type navigate. And once I enter my parentheses, it shows me the different screens that I can navigate to if I click on that button. Well, I want to navigate to the help screen. So I'll click on it, close my parentheses, and I'm good to go. Right. So that's the help screen. Let's give this a quick test. We can also hold down the control key. So if you don't want to go into the preview mode, you can hold down the control key and, for example, click on the help here. It's not working for me. My apologies, it's the Alt key. So if I hold on the Alt key and click here, I can get a preview of how that button works. So we can see the button is working. It's navigating to the help page for us. So I'll go back to home. Let's test my browse button as well. I'll hold down the Alt key and click on browse. And there we go. So we are good to go for adding our 2 screens and programming our 2 buttons to navigate to those 2 screens. Let's add a few more customizations here. Let's go ahead and add a home icon on each of our screens so that we'll be able to navigate back to our home screen. So I'll go ahead and click on my browse screen 1 here, and I'll click on the insert drop down. And I want to look for a home icon. There it is. There's a home icon right here. Just need to position it where I want it to go. I'll just move things over a little bit. So I'll move these over. You can group them together by holding down the control key. So I'll move those over just to make a little room. And I'll put my home icon up here. So there's my home icon. Now for the icon over here on the right, we have not touched on this area yet, but we can see this is a home icon. Now I can make some changes to it, like the position, the padding from the margin. I can specify the fill color, right, and the color in here if I want to as well. So right now it's black. So I'll go ahead and actually change the color. So I'll make this that's actually the background color. That's not what I want. Let's see. There we go. So there is my home icon. Okay, I want to go ahead and program this. So again, navigation. I want to navigate to my home screen. I'm good to go. Now what's really cool is I can copy this and I can paste it on my other screens. So if I copy it and go to my next screen here, which is the detail screen, I can paste it in here. I'll just Control V, and it pastes it there for me. Just need to move things over on this one as well. Right, so there we go. And I'll do the same thing over here on my next screen. So right now I'm on detail screen 1. I'll collapse it, kind of get it out of the way. I'll go back to the edit screen here. Move my icon over. I'll press Control V and paste it in that same location. Finally, I'll go to the edit screen. I'll do the same thing. I'll go ahead and move this icon over. I'll press Control V, and there we go. Let's give this a quick test. I'll hold down the Alt key, click here, and now I can navigate back and forth. So here's my home screen. I want to get some help. I changed my mind. I'll go back to the home screen. I want to browse the items. And now I want to go back to the home screen as well. Now if I were to kind of hold on the Alt key and click on here. So notice here on this screen, we can always go back to the home screen as well. So we are good to go. I'll give this a quick run. I'll click on play to preview the app. So here's my browse screen. Now we can add some more detail down here, like maybe our social media handles down here as well. We can put a title up here if we want to. Those are simple labels, so we can do that if we want to. But for now, I want to get some help. Right? So I can go ahead and type in a name, add my subject, send my message as well. I can go back to the home screen. Now I can browse, and I can go ahead and browse these different items. And just like before, we can go ahead and manage it as well. So very good. So those are some basic customizations that we can do. Now, we can also change the theme. Let me go back to the browse screen 1 here. And what about the theme? So if I want more of a red theme, I can do that. So we have some themes that are built in here. If I want to go to a steel theme, then there we go. So we can make some nice cosmetic changes in here as well. Let's take a look at just a few more. Let's take a look at some of the gallery customizations. I'm currently on the browse screen here, and I want to go ahead and click on it. And so we have a browse gallery. So here's my browse gallery here. Once I have it selected, Notice how the advanced properties here for the browse gallery opens. So I can change the name here if I want to. But what I want to do is I want to go ahead and change the layout. So what other layouts are available? Right now, I can see the picture, the tag number, the name, and the department as well. So if I click here, I'm currently showing the image, title, subtitle, and body. What if I have just image, title, and subtitle? So I'll choose this one. Let's see what it does. Right. So you can see it just kind of updates the information. This looks a little cleaner. We just have the tag number. We have the individual that has it checked out. So it just kind of moves things around for us. If I want the, let's say, image, subtitle, and body, so it adds a little more detail there as well. So there's quite a few options in here that you can use. You're going to go ahead and choose any one that works best for you. Here's a 2-column orientation, so a 2-column gallery. Right, doesn't really look too good. I'll go back to the image, title, and subtitle here. And that looks pretty good. Now, what I can also do is I can go ahead and move things around if I want to. So right now, here are the fields that are being displayed. So if I click on the fields here, right, so I can go ahead and kind of change some of these here if I want to. So here's the image, subtitle, and title. Well, I'll leave the image alone because we're showing the photo. But for the subtitle, what if I wanted to show another field, such as checked out? I can do that, or checked in. So we can change the field that's being displayed for these placeholders here, because that's pretty much what these are. So I'll go ahead and change this to image, title, subtitle, and body. And let's see. So I have the department in here. Instead of the department, maybe I'll go ahead and plug in the, let's see if I can change this to the checked out date. And there we go. So we can see the checkout date is now being displayed here as well. So we do have control in terms of what fields are being displayed on here as well. So we can change the gallery and we can specify what we want to be displayed. So I'm good to go. I'll go back to the blue theme here, just to keep everything looking nice. And we're good to go. So that's how we can make some changes to the actual gallery. If I go over to my detail screen, now notice on my detail screen it's a little different. We don't have a gallery. We have a form. So we have a detail form that's in here. So depending on the type of screen that you're working with, so this one is a clear form. So here are the placeholders for the actual form. And we have what's called, we have cards. So here's the department card. Right? So all these things are in here as well. Just like with the gallery, I can go ahead and choose the fields that I want to be displayed. And I can also move these around as well. So if I want to, maybe move some of the information up towards the top, I can go ahead and do that as well. So I'll just make a simple adjustment. So I have the employee department. Well, I don't want the department. I want the actual description after the employee. So I'll move there we go. I'll move that up here. We can see that it just kind of moved everything, but everything is still aligned. And then I want the checked out date. And I'll leave the photo down here on the bottom as well. So that's how we can customize either the gallery or the form. We can use the properties pane over here, and we can make some changes as well. Right now, this form, it has a 1-column orientation. If I change this to 2, let me close the fields here. So I can change this to 2 columns. Right, that's useful if you have a lot of fields. We have a vertical layout. I can go for horizontal. Don't like the way that looks. So I'll just go ahead and undo those last 2 here. I'm good to go. So we're back to normal. We could do things as well like center align some of these different placeholders if we want to. We also have advanced properties. So some of these, they require some coding in here as well. But we're good to go. So that wraps up just customizing an existing form. We're going to go ahead and move on to lesson number 5, where we'll go ahead and create a blank app from a blank canvas, and we'll put it all together. Let's create an app from a blank canvas. So we'll start with a blank canvas. We'll go ahead and add the necessary screens. We'll add our content and customize it, and then we'll connect our data source there as well. So basically what we want to do, just to keep things simple, we want to go ahead and replicate this actual app. So what that means is we're going to need to insert our screen. We're going to need to insert, our rectangle, our label, our icons, and then we need to program these icons as well. We need to go ahead and connect the data source to our gallery. So that's pretty much what we need to do. Now we just need to know how to program these different icons here. If you have an existing app, if you click on it, we can get some insight in terms of what it's doing. So here's the actual code. Here's the refresh. Here's the code for adding a new item. So we're basically creating a new form and navigating to a particular screen here as well. So we're going to be using some of the code that's already existing to kind of help us along the way as we create a blank app. When we're done, we'll have an app that has a home screen, a browse screen, a detail screen, edit screen, and of course our help screen as well. We'll go ahead and make the design, and then we'll go ahead and test it and make sure that everything is working properly. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure this is saved. I'll go back. I'll go ahead and leave. So I'll go ahead and click on create, and I want a blank. So I'll click on a blank app here, and I'm ready to go. So when we're creating a blank app, there's 3 different types of apps that we can create. This course is focused on the Canvas app, right? We do have some other types of options in here, such as a model-driven app, and we also have what's called a website. So these are beyond this course. There's a lot of material that kind of allows us to create these different types of apps here as well. But we're going to go ahead and focus on the Canvas app. I'll go ahead and click on create. And now we just need to go ahead and give the app a name and go ahead and determine, do we want this to be viewed on a tablet or do we want this to be viewed on a phone? This is important because if we change this later, it will kind of disorient the objects that are on our canvas, in which case we would need to reorganize them. I'll go ahead and choose the phone layout, and I'll go ahead and give this a name. I'll just call this device SS for self-service. I'll go ahead and click, and I'll give it a version. I'll put V1. I'll go ahead and click on create. It's getting things ready for us. And we'll go step by step in terms of what we need to do to get this up and running. Now we do have quite a few steps here, so I have included a document here for our actual project. So we'll start by adding a home screen. We'll add our 2 buttons. We'll add a help screen that will have some details. We'll add a browse screen. We'll add a detail screen, and we'll have the edit screen as well. So we'll have this as a guide to kind of help us as we're creating our blank app. Let's focus on the home screen. So I already have a blank screen here, and that's perfectly fine. So just going to go ahead and start adding some detail in here. So first thing I'll do is rename this screen. So I'll go ahead and rename this, and I'll call it home screen. We'll just put all lowercase there. So here is my home screen. And I'll go ahead and do that. So I'll go ahead and add my buttons. So I'll insert my 2 buttons here. So basically what I want to do is insert 2 buttons, and I also want to go ahead and insert 2 rectangles, one for the header and one for the footer. So I'll go ahead and insert a simple button. So here's my button, and we can resize those later. I'll also go ahead and insert a simple rectangle. Here's my rectangle. So I'll put this at the top. I'm going to align this to the top. And I'll just put some text in there. My button, I can make it as big as I want to. I'll center align it. So here's my button. So now I can just go ahead and copy these and paste. So here are my 2 buttons. I'll copy and paste my rectangle as well. So I'll copy that. I'll just press Control V. I'll put this down here as well. So now this will be my footer, and up here I have my rectangle for my header. So now I can go ahead and insert a label in here and add some detail. I'm going to go ahead and insert a label, so a text label. I'll position it up here, and I'll just put some text in here. So I'll just put the title. This was going to be the device self-service. I'll go ahead and make it bold. You can adjust the font size as necessary. Maybe I'll make this 24. Let's see how that looks. I'll scroll down to the bottom here, and I'll change the color to, I'll go for white. Let's see how that looks. And I'll go ahead and center it as well. Make it a little bigger, maybe 28. And there we go. So now we have a nice home screen. We have move my rectangle up a little bit to fill up that space on the top. There we go. And now we can do the same thing. So for the bottom, we can just go ahead and insert a text label. And this will be for any other information, or maybe, our social media information as well. So go ahead and add those, and we'll come right back. We'll add the other screens, and then we'll start programming our buttons as well. Okay, let's go ahead and insert another screen. So to keep things kind of, getting confusing here, let's go ahead and collapse the home screen. I'm going to go ahead and insert a new screen. This will be our help screen. So we'll drop in that email screen again. We'll go ahead and rename it right away. So I'll click right here and I'll rename that, and I'll call that help screen. I'm good to go. It works well right out of the box, so I'll go ahead and collapse that, and I'm good to go. Let's go ahead and insert another screen. So this one is going to be our browse screen. So I'll click on new screen here. Now I do have some options in here that I can use. I can go ahead and use some pre-filled ones, but I want a blank screen. And I'll go ahead and call this one, this will be my browse screen. So I'll rename this as the browse screen. All right. So my help screen, let's see what that looks like. That's good to go. I don't think I want to make any changes to here. I just want to be able to add the home button to go back to my home screen. So I'll leave that as is for now. Now for my browse screen, I do want to kind of get some things set up here. So I do want to have my rectangle at the top, and I do want to go ahead and add those different icons. So I'll go ahead and insert my rectangle first. There's my rectangle. I'll make sure it's aligned to the top here. So I'll snap it to the top. Make sure it's covering the entire width as well. So there we go. I'll make it a little bigger just in case I need a little more room. I'll go ahead and insert a label, so a text label, and I'll go ahead and type my text in here. as well. So I'll just call this one. So this is the browse screen. I'll put browse in here. I'll go ahead and make it bold. And I'll also go ahead and make that white. So I'm good to go. I don't need for this to be that big, so I'll just go ahead and resize that because I need to make some room for my icons. I'll go ahead and insert my icons here. So I'll click on Insert, and I'll go ahead and insert I do want the home icon. So I'll add that first. This will allow me to navigate back to the home screen. So I'll put that over here. I'll go ahead and recolor that as well. There we go. So that's our first icon. And then I'll go ahead and insert a few more icons here. I'm going to look for that refresh. So I'll look for the refresh here. That's fine. I'll use this one. So there's my refresh icon. So I can refresh if any changes are made to the original data from the list. I'll go ahead and make this white as well. You can choose any colors you want. For now, I'm just kind of using these basic colors here based on the theme. So I have my browse label, and I have my refresh icon, and I have my home icon here as well. So far I am good to go. And I think that's all I need right now in terms of buttons to click on for my browse screen. So at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and pause because right now, when I create my other screens, so I still need my, my detail screen as well and my edit screen. I don't want to have to insert these icons all over again. So what I can do is I can just go ahead and duplicate this screen. So I'll click here, I'll go ahead and duplicate this screen, but let me program the home button first. So let's program that first. So navigate, and this will go to the home screen. Right. So we're good to go so far. I'll worry about the refresh later. So here's the home. So I already have kind of the shell that I want to use in here. So I'll go ahead and duplicate this screen. And as you can see, it preserves the information, right? So my home button is still a navigation item. So now what I'll do for this screen, I'll just go ahead and rename this particular screen. So this is going to be my detail screen. So I'll rename this one as detail. So there's my detail screen. And now I can go ahead and duplicate this one. So I'll go ahead and duplicate this screen. And this one will be my, I'll call this one edit screen. So I'll rename. This is my edit screen, and I'm good to go. So now I already have the shell for my detail screen, for my edit screen, and for my browse screen as well. I already have one button programmed. I already have some of the information in here. So I'm good to go. So now that I have my screens kind of set up, next thing I want to do is go back to my home screen here. And I want to be able to navigate to that browse screen and navigate to the help screen as well. So I'll click on browse, and again on select, we want to navigate. So another navigate here. So I want to navigate to the browse screen. One down, here is my help. I want to navigate to the help screen. So I'll go ahead and navigate to the help screen. So you can see naming the screens are very important. It really helps us to be able to find what we're looking for. All right, so we're good to go. Okay, so the first part is done. Our home screen is good to go. We can jump to the browse, we can jump to help. And if we go to help, okay, our help does not yet have the home button. So I'll go ahead and copy that. to my help screen. I'll just move this over. Again, we kind of did this earlier, but I'll go ahead and do this again here. There's my home button. Are we good to go? So at this point, we can just kind of give it a quick test, make sure everything is working fine. I'll click on my home screen here. I'll go ahead and click on the preview the app icon. So here's browse. I can get back to home. I can go to help. I can go back to home. So we're good to go. Okay, so we have our screens up and running. When we come back, we'll continue working on the browse screen. We need to go ahead and connect or add a gallery and connect our data source. And continuing with the project guide here, we're focusing on the browse screen. So we need to go ahead and insert a vertical gallery, and then we'll connect to our data source. I already have the link copied here for my device tracking. I'll go back to Power Apps. I'll go ahead and click on the Insert tab here, and I want to insert a vertical gallery. So here's my vertical gallery, and it's just asking me to go ahead and connect to a data source. So here's just the shell. We can see we have images in here, title, subtitle. Now we just need to go ahead and connect. So I'll make sure to connect to my list here. Now for here, what we're going to do, we're going to click on, so if I copy and paste the link in here, it will not work. So I'll click on connectors here. So on the bottom, I'll click on connectors and I'll click on SharePoint. Here's my SharePoint account for my sandbox. And down here, I can see the list, but it's a little difficult to kind of see exactly what I'm looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and just paste the link in here. Let's see if that will work. And I'll go ahead and press connect. So let's click connect here. And here is my device tracking. I'll go ahead and press connect. And there you go. So it's automatically pulling in the fields for me. So it's pulling in the data. Just need to go ahead and pull this down. So again, this is a container. This is the vertical gallery. So I'll just align it to about right there. And I'm going to make it a little bigger to leave some more room for more entries. If you want to, you can put a little footer down here as well. But here we go. So here is our actual gallery and everything looks good. So if we wanted to, we can go ahead and kind of just change the fields that are being displayed. Right now, I'm okay with the image, title, subtitle. I do want everything though. So with the image, title, subtitle, and body, get some more detail in here. Again, we can choose the fields that we want to be displayed in the form. But the important thing is here, we connected our data set, right? So we're good to go. So after we do that, we need to go ahead and just program so that we can navigate. My refresh icon here, I'll go ahead and program that. So we need to go ahead and use the appropriate program to refresh the data set. So for this one, I'll use the refresh. So again, the onSelect property, we're going to refresh. And once I click on refresh here, it's giving me the name of the actual data set. So I'll click here on device tracking and I'll go ahead and close my parentheses and I'll click away. And as long as I do not receive an error, I should be good to go. I'm going to give this a quick test. I'll hold down the Alt key and click on that icon. And we can see that that's working pretty well, right? So we're just refreshing and the name of the actual data source or the table. So if this were an Excel file, this will be the actual name of the table. So we're good to go. We have our refresh button working and our home button working. So mission accomplished. We've inserted the vertical gallery for our browse screen and we've connected to our data source. Let's go ahead and move on to our detail screen. So this is a detail screen. I'll go ahead and change the text that appears here. This will just be called details. And while I'm here, I'll go to edit as well. Just make sure I don't forget to rename it. All right. So here is my details screen. So for this one, I want to go ahead and insert a form. Right? So in particular, I want to go ahead and insert a display form. So on my details, I'll go ahead and click on insert here. And I'll type forms. There's a lot of things in here. Here's my display form. And I'm good to go. So I need to go ahead and connect my data source. So again, I'll go ahead and click on, it's actually showing right here. Let's see if this will work for me. There's my device tracking. And there you go. So it's populating the information in here. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of reposition this. All right. So again, this is customizable as well. So we can change kind of the layout for this if we want to. Right. So if we click over here on the right, we have the properties, because this is now our form. So if I click on the form viewer 1 here I can go ahead and change the layout. I can change the fields that are being displayed. I can even move my different fields around here as well. Right. But for now, I'm good. I already have the information connected here. So remember, this is a display form. So I need to go ahead and let this form know that I want to display data that's selected from my browse screen. So when we land to the details screen, it's based on the item or the record that we selected on our browse screen. So we need to go ahead and enter some code in here for that. So how can we do that? Well, let's click on the form viewer here. And up here are the different properties. Right now it's the data source. I want to go ahead and click on the item here. So here is my item. And what I need to do is I need to go ahead and connect to the name of the gallery from the browse screen. So I'll go ahead and expand the browse screen here. So the name of this gallery is gallery 1. So I need to go ahead and connect to whatever has been selected for gallery 1. So to do that, first I need the name. So it's gallery 1. And I'll go ahead and come back down here. So the item property, I'll go ahead and type the name of the gallery, which is gallery 1. So there is my gallery 1 right there. And I need to use the selected. So I'll say gallery 1. And notice it's right there. So gallery 1.selected. So whatever is selected for gallery 1 will be displayed on my display form. We can see we're connected to the item from gallery 1 that is selected. It's already showing up down here. So now it's just a matter of moving things around to make sure that it can display the information accurately. Now we do have a scroll feature here as well. So once we run this live, we can see the actual scroll. Right. We can also change this to 2 columns if we want to. Let's see what that will look like. Maybe I'll go with 2 columns for now. This way you don't have to scroll through. Okay, so I'm good to go. So we're able to insert a form, a display form. We're able to connect the data source, and we're able to change the item property to connect to whatever was selected from the browse screen. The last thing to do is to add an edit button so that we can edit this here as well. But we need to go ahead and configure the edit screen before we do that. For now, I'll just make sure to change this to another icon here. Let's see if I can, I'm gonna have to delete that. And I'll go ahead and insert. Let's see what I get for edit here. I'll choose this edit icon and I'll put it right over here. Let's go ahead and change the color to white. I'm good to go. So this is all good to go. The last thing I need to do is just go ahead and configure or program this to navigate to our edit screen. So we're done here. For now, we'll go ahead and configure our edit screen next. Let's go back to our roadmap here. So in lesson 5, we're creating an app from blank. So we've added a few screens, And for each screen, we're adding content and we're customizing the content. We're also connecting to the data source. Let's go ahead and add an edit form for our edit screen. Now let's go ahead and connect to the data source as well. Here's my edit screen. I want to go ahead and insert an edit form. So here's my edit form here. And just like before, we need to go ahead and connect that to the data source. Here's my connection. I'll go ahead and move this down. Again, we can reposition these any way that you like. I'll just scroll down here and we're good to go. Now I am going to rename this form. It just says form 5. So I'll go ahead and rename that because I need to use that in the code when I'm connecting to this form. So I'll go ahead and call this edit form, and I'll call it edit form 1. So there we go. Now the reason I'm calling it edit form 1, there is a function called edit form. So I want to make sure I distinguish between the object and the actual function. So there we go. So the next thing we need to do, we need to go ahead and add 2 icons here. One to cancel the form and one to submit or save the form. So I'll delete this icon here. I'll go ahead and insert a save button. Also go ahead and insert a cancel button. I'll choose the cancel badge. And I'll just position these over here. Again, you can place them anywhere you want to. I'll go ahead and group them together. I'll hold down the control key so I can change the color at once here. They'll both be white. And I'll go ahead and program these. But the first thing I need to do, I need to go ahead and, as you can see, our form does not have anything in here to edit. So basically, I need to be able to connect to whatever is selected from my browse screen from Gallery 1. So I'll go ahead and click on the form. So here's the edit form 1. And here's the data source. That's correct. But I'm concerned about the item. So the item that I want to be displayed is going to be whatever is selected from my Gallery 1. So just like we did before, I'll type Gallery 1 dot selected. And there you go. It's already pulling in the item that has been selected from Gallery 1, which is just the default here, 5001. So we're almost good to go. The next thing to do to complete this edit screen is to program these 2 buttons. So for the save button here, I need to use so when it's selected on select, we'll need to use the submit form option. So I'll click on submit form. And then we'll need to type the name of the form that we want to connect to. It's already showing up for us here, which is edit form 1. Good to go. So we're submitting the form. Any changes made to edit form 1. Now to cancel that, I'll use the reset form command. So this will be reset form. And then the name of the form, which is also edit form 1. And there we go. Right. So all these buttons are programmed, my home, my cancel, my save. We're pulling in the details from whatever has been selected from the browse gallery. So the next thing for us to do is to go back to our first screen and just kind of go through each one, make sure that all of the buttons are programmed, everything is working properly. So I'll start from the home screen here, and I'll just hold down I'll actually click on the button, make sure everything is programmed. Okay, so this goes to the browse screen, this goes to the help screen. Very good. Now I'll go to the help screen. Now the help screen is already pre-programmed. We just need to check that we can get back to the home screen here. So we're good. Let's check the browse screen. Right. So the browse screen, we have the refresh that's programmed, we have the home. Now the one thing that we have not done so far is when we select an item or a record from the screen, we want to be able to head on over to the details screen. So we need to go ahead and program that. So we need to go ahead and adjust the properties. The on select, we need to go ahead and navigate over to the details screen. So let's go ahead and take a look at how we can communicate that. So for the on select property, we need to go ahead and navigate to that particular screen. So I'll go ahead and delete this here. So I'll use the navigate. So we want to navigate. Which screen do we want to navigate to? We want to navigate to the detail screen. And we can also put a screen transition in here. So I'll go ahead and put the screen transition. So this will be none. I don't want a screen transition. Sometimes if you don't have the screen transition clause in here, it acts a little weird. So let's see. Okay, so now I'll go ahead and hold down the Alt key. I'll click on a record, and there you go. So that's working. It takes me to the details page. All right. Now, I need to be able to edit this item. So if I click on my little pen here or pencil, I can see it's not doing anything. So I need to go ahead and program this to basically head on over to my edit screen. All right. So my edit screen, there's the edit form 1 here. So for this one, we need to do two things actually. We need to go ahead. So for the on select, I need to specify that I need to navigate to a particular screen, and I need to access a particular form on that actual screen as well. Right. So for this screen, what I'll do, I'm going to go ahead and enter the information here. I'm going to use the edit form. And this is what I was mentioning earlier. So we have an edit form function here, not to be confused with edit form. So I want to edit a form, and I need to specify the form that I want to edit. I'll go ahead and edit form 1. So that's the first part of it. And then I need to be able to go ahead and navigate to the screen that that form is on. So I'll put my semicolon, and then I'll use the navigate. And I want to navigate to my edit screen. Close my parentheses, and I am good to go. Let's give it a quick test. I'll hold down the Alt key. And as you can see, it brings me over to my edit screen. So just a little bit of troubleshooting here. I think what we'll do, let's go ahead and run through it again. So you can feel free. You definitely want to be able to test it before we actually put it into production here as well. But we're able to go through each screen just to make sure that everything is programmed correctly. We have the correct icons. We have the correct features that we need. And we're good to go. So the last thing for us to do is to test our app, and we'll take it from there. Let's go ahead and test our app, make sure everything is working well. So I'll click on the play button here, or I can press F5. So here I am on the home screen. I'll go ahead and click on help. So here's my help. I can go ahead and type in my message and click on send. I'll go back to the home tab. I want to browse the different items here. So here are the items. I'll go ahead and click on one. Well, let's refresh it first. Make sure that we refresh the list. I'll go ahead and click on an item here. So that works well. It brings us to the details screen. Well, what if I want to go ahead and edit this? It brings us to the edit screen. So maybe instead of Grady, well, maybe instead of, I'll change the department, right, to human resources. But maybe I don't want to do that. I'll cancel the change. So I'll click on cancel, and you can see it puts it back to the default settings here as well. Right. I'll change this to let's see, just phone. We'll go for a 6-inch phone, so 6/2024. I'll press save, so you can see the little lines moving here, so that has saved it for me. If I want to, I can change the picture. I can attach a file, and I'll change the checked out date to today. And I'm good to go. I'll just press save. I'll go ahead and take a look at the different views as well. So here's the tablet view. I can rotate it. Looks pretty nice. So here's my scroll bar. I can scroll through and I'm good to go. So it's working pretty well, right? So for this one, we're not really adding anything here. We're just modifying the actual app. So that is pretty cool. All right, so we are good to go. So the next thing for us to do is to save the app, do some more testing, and then we can go ahead and share the app as well. Let's go ahead and move on to our final lesson here. So let's go ahead. We did test for bugs already. Let's go ahead and publish and share this app. So I'll go ahead and save it here. So once it's saved, I'll go ahead and click on the share icon. So I'll click on share. And here's the dialog that appears for sharing. So I start by entering the email address here. So I'll go ahead and share this with Adele. Down here on the bottom, we can send an email to invite the new users. So they'll get a link that they can click on. Over here, here's the email message. I can upload an image if I want to show what the app looks like. I can also assign someone as a co-owner or as a user for the particular app. Now down here, if you take a look, it's doing the work for us. So if permissions are needed to access the data, we're sharing the data here with our recipients as well. So I just want Adele to be a user, not a co-owner. I don't want Adele to be able to edit. Right. So I'll go ahead and click on share, and then we'll go ahead and take a look at Adele's mailbox, and let's see what that looks like. So it tells me that all permission changes were saved successfully. I'll go ahead and close this out. And it gives us some nice detail here in terms of, here's the web link. So if I can access I can go ahead and copy this here. Here's the mobile QR code, so we can use it. I'll head on over to Adele's. All right, so here's Adele's mailbox. Here is Adele's Power Apps. I'll refresh. Let's see if that shows up here. Doesn't show up yet. Let's go to the mailbox. And here's the email. The app has been shared. And let's see. Show this here as well. Let's go ahead and run the app. See what happens here. And look at that. So this is what it looks like here. Okay, so it's asking for app permissions, and that's fine. I'll go ahead and fix this connection. We go ahead and fix these, and then I'll come right back. Okay, so I was able to authenticate to those different services there. So this is what the app looks like. So this is the web browser. So I'll go ahead and click on Browse. And there you go. So here are the actual items. I'll go back to the Home tab. I'll click on Help. And I'll send a message to Nestor. And I'll just say, for the subject, I'll say help. I'll say getting started guide. Do we have one? And I'll go ahead and send that out. And there we go. We'll go back to the Home tab here, and I'll browse. And Adele says, hey, I didn't check this item out here. Let's click on it. And let's edit this. All right. So I actually don't have that one. I have the one with 5009. And my department is not HR. I'm part of the executive team. And I'll go ahead and actually check this out a couple of days ago. So I'll put, let's see, I'll go for the 3rd, press OK. I'll change the photo because what I have is a tablet. So I'll just put my tablet in here and let's save it. So we're saved, we're good. Now I can go back to the Home tab. So Adele can also share, right? So we can specify whether someone that we share the app with, if they can share it with others. So in this case, we're good to go. I'm going to go back here and let's open up Nestor's mailbox. Let's see if that message was received. Here it is. So here's the message that was sent from that help screen. Getting started guide, right? And I'll go back here and we're good to go. So that's how we share the Power Apps. Now, there's some other sharing options. We can share it as a part of a Teams channel as well. So there's several different ways that we can actually share it. If I want to come in here and share with others, I can do that. I can click on the individual recipients. If I want to promote them to a co-owner, I can go ahead and do that as well. Right. So we are good to go. I'll go ahead and copy this link. I'll go ahead and paste that. And because I'm already logged in, I'm able to use the app. Right? So you do have to authenticate to be able to actually use the app. So that wraps up lesson 6. We're able to test for bugs. We're able to save or publish our changes. And then we're able to share it and take a look at the email that our recipient receives and their experience while using the actual app as a user as opposed to a co-owner. Now, as a bonus, there are other ways that we can share this app as well. So notice right now, I'm on a Teams channel. And if you have access to add tabs to a channel, one of the tabs that we can add is the Power App. So I'll go ahead and click here to add a tab. And I'll search for Power App. I'll click on Power Apps here. And it's going to go ahead and pull up my list of apps here. So here's the app that I want. I'll go ahead and click on Save. And this is a great way to make that app available to a particular team or a channel. Let's see what that looks like here. I may need to refresh. There we go. All right. So now everyone that has access or that's a member of this channel, they now have the rights to be able to come in here and use this self-service. So that's how we can share it in a Teams channel, which is a really, really efficient thing to do. We can also add it to a SharePoint site. So if I go to a SharePoint site, as long as you go into edit mode, so when you're editing a SharePoint site, one of the web parts that's available is an actual Power App. So we go ahead and add this here. So I want to go ahead and add the device self-service to the OIT page here. So I'll search for app. Here's the Microsoft Power App. I need to go ahead and paste the link in here to that app. And there you go. I'll turn the border on, give a little padding here, and I'm good to go. Right? So now I can come in here and I can access the actual app. I'll republish this page so that my visitors now can come in here and use the self-service. So pretty cool. So those are just some bonus ways to share our Power App. Congratulations on completing the course. So we're able to customize an existing app. Great way to learn. We're able to create an app from a blank. We spend most of our time on that. And then we explored several ways that we can publish and share an app. The last thing to do is just to enjoy Power Apps.